So we're still in the cutting room with 29 weeks to go, and as you can imagine, we're moving through the vast amounts of footage we have to basically get our movie crafted. And we thought we'd show you this week is what actually happens, not in the cutting room, but all the work behind the scenes of the editorial department that has to go into arranging the footage before it even reaches the cutting room.
I suppose the best way to describe what the editorial team does in terms of the cutting room is that we're a support structure for the creative team, I suppose.
When you're cutting a film, you know, Peter is in there pretty buried each day, going through the material, finding the story and finding the flow of the movie.
They're looking to have everything at their fingertips that they've shot, prepared, expect to have ready when they need it to be able to put a scene together.
The assistant editors sort all the footage that is shot on one camera roll. They'll break that up into scene, break it up into camera, we'll write descriptions about it, about whether it's a wide shot or a close-up, who's in the shot, put all this information into the computer system, and they will send it to us so that we can have it there at our fingertips and find any shot we need.
And out there, yeah.
If our flow doesn't get back into them to let the whole thing turn around and the scenes and therefore the film develop, then the whole thing kind of stalls. So we're the engine room to the bridge. At this stage of production, it's late May. We're a few weeks past the end of main unit shooting. We are still shooting. There are 2 miniatures units shooting film, and there's the mocap stage, motion capture, which is shooting videotape still.
Oh, they're busy dealing with all the mocap stuff. That we're sending the stuff down to be mocap down with Andy, and obviously there's huge amounts of footage coming in for minis. There's about three teams going now on the minis.
Everything has to go into the cutting room through us so we know where everything is. And that might be main unit, second unit, miniatures, visual effects shots that arrive, previous animation.
There's been hours of footage to go through, and we're just kind of getting it down to sort of like a smaller amount, so we have a more manageable amount of footage.
So far we have about 1.9 terabytes of media on the computers, which equates to nearly 2 million feet of film, or 370 hours of total footage shot. Probably 50 to 60% of that had to have sound synchronised to it. The sound comes in as a lot of separate files, has to be synchronised with picture. Those picture and sound files then get turned into single clips so they don't get lost from each other. All of the shot information gets added to that, so it's got all the information attached to it that it needs.
What I'm doing at the moment is just data entry, really. All the details for every shot, like the slate information, what lenses they used, at what speed, descriptions.
And then that's put through into the cutting room in a way that they can find it, so they're able to lay their hands on everything, cut the scene, and then turn the scene straight back around out the door. And when it comes back out the door, then we're responsible for making sure it goes in the right form to every other department who needs it, to the visual effects department, and therefore onto Weta for them to look at what they need to build for the scene.
Your visual effects keep coming through, updating those all the way through as within the cut, so keeping them updated.
The visual effects section of editorial are responsible for turning everything over to Weta to do digital effects and also returning it back into the cut.
One of the biggest challenges working on a film like Kong is keeping Weta fed because of the nature of this film, which is very, very visual effects heavy. And there's a whole lot of guys over at Weta waiting for shots to get on with, so just making sure that everyone is fed with things to do while appreciating the fact that cutting the film of this size and this grandeur will take time.
The other department that we supply, of course, is sound, so that they can begin to have a look and just see what they're in for, or as the scene gets tighter or turns into an actual reel of the film, they can begin to actually do final track laying ready for the mix. Funnily enough, with all the technology that's around us and all the computers and all of the terabytes and all of the visual effects, I think that for me the most exciting part of my job is actually going and seeing anything on the big screen, getting to sit there in the cinema watching all of the shots. That's when you go, oh yeah, okay, that's what it's about.